Hello dear friends, in today's video we have an ex-Catholic nun, a BJP party member and a Catholic priest debate about whether the sacrament of confession should be abolished given the regrettable instances of abuse by some priests. Setting the stage for this dialogue is a historical sexual abuse scandal that unfolded years ago within the Malankara church in Kerala. In this incident, it is alleged that 4 priests blackmailed a married woman using information disclosed during confession and subjected her to sexual abuse. Against this backdrop, let us now turn our attention to what Sister Jasmi has to say.
But in my personal case, I have had a direct contact with Jesus or that superior force, that I don't think that there is a need for a middleman or a priest to confess my sins. I can directly tell my Jesus who is my Savior, who is my all in all. But if you say that you will have to interfere into the church practice of a sacrament, I don't think that that is practical, because these are part of the rituals done by the church. If church is an institution, if it is a corporate system, they have formed a few rituals, and those rituals, the believers should shun it if they think logically, and if they find problems in any of the sacraments, they can shun it.
Firstly, in response to her sentiment that confessing to a priest is unnecessary, it is essential to note that God is not bound by the sacrament of reconciliation to forgive someone. Indeed, one can directly seek forgiveness from God and receive it. However, the reason why Catholics confess to a priest is rooted in the fact that Jesus granted the authority to forgive sins to his apostles, and priests, as their successors, inherit this authority. Additionally, the priest acts in persona Christi, in other words, in the person of Christ, to mediate sacramentally between God and us for the purpose of reconciliation. However, I concur with Sister Jasmi on this particular point. If there are any issues or abuses within the church, they should be addressed through internal reforms rather than external intervention from the state or courts attempting to alter the practices of faith. Now let's turn our attention to Mrs. Lalita Kumara Mangalam, a member of the BJP party. She contends that the state should intervene due to the perceived lack of action from the Catholic Church, particularly in the light of numerous reported abuse cases. Let's listen in.
Even constitutionally, the government may not be permitted under the Indian Constitution to interfere in what may be a religious practice. I'm not sure, I'm not a Supreme Court expert lawyer or a constitutional lawyer, but the fact does remain that since the church seems rather unwilling to even openly come out and say that yes, perhaps this is a habit that we should think about. Once again, I'm not saying that they should or should not do something. I'm not a Christian, I don't think I have the right to say it. But I can say that when the habit is being so grossly misused, and has been misused for a long time now, not just today, and the church is absolutely refusing to even look at a sort of reformative process, then the state may have to step in.
As Mrs. Lalita herself says, interference from the state into religious matters will violate the Indian Constitution. To explain in detail, Article 26 grants religious denominations the right to manage their own affairs in matters of religion. This includes the right to establish and maintain institutions for religious and charitable purposes, as well as the right to manage their own affairs in matters of religion without interference from the state. Now I agree the government has the legitimate authority to prosecute a priest who has committed a crime, but it should not overreach and interfere with the practice of the faith just because a small number of priests have abused it. It's similar to suggesting that if a teacher abuses a child in a school, we should abolish all schools. Lastly, let's hear from Father S.M. Shankar, a priest from the Delhi Archdiocese, as he brings out 3 significant points in the context of the issue. Let's listen in.
So Nidhi, I would like to make 3 things very clear. First and foremost, practice of confession is not compulsory. It's not forced upon somebody. It's the freedom of the person to come and confess, because nobody is forcing someone, you have to come to confession. Nobody is saying that. A person comes voluntarily out of remorse for sins, and then the priest administers the sacrament. Second, the canon law is very clear, especially canon law 979 very clearly states, I as a priest cannot even ask probing questions. I'm not even authorized to ask the name of the person, name of the accomplice or anything. And then the third part is the seal of confession, the sacred trust that is being entrusted to me. If I violate that rule, I am automatically become excommunicated. Therefore, if any person, any penitent, anyone who comes to confession feels that there is a breach of trust or there has been a misuse, abuse, the person is free to complain. But then it's not just a mere allegation. It has to be proven that the rule was broken or the seal was broken and there was a misuse or abuse. Only then the priest or the confessor is punished. Therefore, I would not deny that there have been misuses. There have always been misuse because, every priest also is a human person. But then we cannot, just because of a few cases, we cannot bring the whole system saying that the system is bad.
I should say I'm genuinely impressed by Father Shankar's composed demeanor, particularly when faced with other panelists scrutinizing the Catholic Church and the abusive priest. His crucial point underscores that an accusation against a priest breaking the seal of confession must be substantiated. We cannot take action against a priest solely based on an accusation. Even in abuse cases, which are incredibly sensitive and can evoke strong emotions, especially when a Catholic priest is involved, the fundamental principle of being presumed innocent until proven guilty should be extended to everyone. In conclusion, the Indian government should never entertain any recommendations of intruding into the religious practices of any religion, because such an action would not only nullify the religious freedom clause of the Constitution, but also simultaneously challenge the enduring principle of the separation between church and state. With that, I rest my case. God bless you.